Hello everybody, James Rink here. It is January 18th, 2018, and today I have Jessica Ariel Marrocco, and her website is Readings by Ariel, A-R-E-A-L.
A-E-L.
A-A-R-A-E-L.
Correct.
And Jessica is a psychic, clairvoyant, medium, channeler. There's probably a few more things in there, empath, intuitive, that communicates with an entity by the name of who? Who do you primarily channel?
I primarily channel the Andronicus transmissions, but there's multiple that I channel through, and I have the connection to the super soldiers as well, and the numbers group.
Wonderful. And Jessica is going to be sharing some information from her perspective about some of these current events that we have here, in particular what's going on in QAnon and some other things that are going on around the world. And as well as we have the amazing Peter the Insider. And Peter is a director of, I believe it's, if I'm not mistaken, Division 12 of the ACIO, which is the Advanced Contact Intelligence Organization, or Alien Contact Intelligence Organization. Did I get that right? Is it Division 12?
Yeah.
Okay. And Peter is he gets his information from the Wisdomers and probably a few other places. I'm sure he's got a lot of interesting stories to tell, or not stories, information to share. We should really put it that way. And so this is really a follow-up of last week's presentation, or really about 2 weeks ago, where we talked a little bit about Abatova and some different types of Project Surrogate experiences, not only for myself, but Jessica. And
yes.
We talked a little bit about Fallout 4, which is a video game in which there was an apocalyptic version of planet Earth with a nuclear fallout, and they were conducting some experiments on an individual in that game, and apparently that mirrors a lot what's going on with Jessica. So Jessica, why don't you share something that recently came up to you in the past couple of days?
What I found, it was interesting because then I'm not really a gamer, but I did go in and study Fallout 4 and even followed up with Fallout 3 and 1 and 2 and just kind of get some basic information, and discovered that I have been communicating with someone by the name of Jericho, and there's someone in the game named Jericho. There's another one named Jonas that's in there that I've also communicated with, and the one father in the lab by the name of Sean. This sounds very similar to someone from a lab that I've been communicating by the name of John. Now, I'm seeing all of these like really strange things happening, and then recently in the news, or I think it was in the news, that they mentioned that California wants to become New California, like the New California Republic that was mentioned in the game in the Fallout series. So then I discovered, I talked to a friend in California, and they said that it is a group. They actually have a map laid out of how they think it should look. And so this clearly looks like a bleed through of the reality coming into our reality. And supposedly, I don't have any proof on this, but it's a bunch of flat earthers, people that have a strong belief in this flat earth theory, and they're the ones that are pushing for this agenda to create this new California, and that they're, I guess, extreme Republican right, and I guess they want to make this change. Now, what the reasoning behind that, I don't have any information, and whether or not this is hearsay, but supposedly this came from a friend of mine whose friend was in the military, so he's sort of an insider in that area, and that's what he came up with. That this kind of group, I guess, has created quite a following, and they're really trying to push this whole thing. Now, it could be another reason altogether, I don't know, but that was the information I received.
Peter, do you want to comment about the Flat Earth Society or anything what Jessica said?
To be perfectly honest, I don't believe something about like flat Earth or something, but I
Neither
don't
do
want
I.
to say it's. I don't see it realistic. You know, I believe in. I believe in. How can I say that? I believe in. If you wanna call it that way. Uh, if you wanna call it that way, only on Earth. Yeah.
But as far as the New California, them wanting to be New California as opposed to just California, the state, and try to claim that they're separate the state exactly, having the similar name as Fallout, is that a bleed through, or do you think that's just a
Yeah, it
coincidence?
is. It is a blitzroot. Yeah, you
Okay,
are right. You are right.
I think that's
But
more
not
important
from.
piece.
But not from. Definitely not from flat Earth.
No, no, no. I agree with that. Yeah.
All right, so for audience members who are a little bit lost of what's we're basically talking about here, when we mentioned bleed throughs, apparently there are different parallel realities, or I guess what do you call them, alternate universes?
No, no, no. They are parallel realities
Parallel
because
realities.
parallel reality is not the same thing as other universes. So it's big difference, and you need to realize the fact that I don't want to say it's impossible, but it's very very hard to to have bleed through from another universe, respectively dimension or megaverse or something like that. But to get a bleed through from another reality, not a problem, not a big deal.
And
You're
we
saying
were
that
talking,
it's easy. Okay.
yeah, certainly like last week, 2 weeks ago, we were talking about Abatova, which was a Nazi parallel reality. Yeah.
No, no, no. I was talking that Abatova was not a Nazi reality. I was talking that it's very similar. No, sorry. Abatovas were very similar facilities as were Gulag during Soviet era in former Soviet Union. That's big difference, you know.
But it's not in a Nazi parallel reality.
Yeah, it is, but you thought it's like Nazi parallel reality and Abatava. No, I mean, you are right, but we need to make it correct, okay? What it is exactly about.
Right. Okay. And is there anything else, Jessica, you want to share about this particular nuclear holocaust world?
Well, if that's bleeding through, is there something else that we need to be aware of that we can kind of, try to assist in preventing any more bleed through from coming in? I mean,
And
and clearly,
I need to ask you something.
okay.
Uh, I know it's bad to ask this kind of questions without preparation before recording, but I need to ask you if you weren't forced in last few weeks, respectively, if you don't have weird feelings that you were maybe under influence of drugs or something like that, because I'm sure that in another reality your alter ego, like, it was like in French was Olivia and B like Bolivia, B Olivia, it's TV show, French, very good, just by the way.
Hmm.
And they who made these experiments was about to enhance your abilities via abusing you, and they force you to use LSD. I mean, like crazy doses of LSD. So what do you think? Wasn't you affected by something like that?
I don't. You know what, Peter? I've been having visions since I was a child, and so, and some of them are very surreal. They're very strange. I have, but I'm never like out of control or feel like I'm under an influence because I don't know anything different. It's been going on since I was really young. So if it was affecting me, then it had to have affected me when I was very young.
No. But I am talking about like what I am
Recently?
talking about. I am talking about like what I am talking about like from age of 5 or 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
6 years old, something like that.
Yes, that's about the age, about 5 years old.
Okay, and
Yes.
now it should be very intensive. I mean, extreme intensive.
Well, just recently, today I could see another dimension very clearly, and I was just looking at it. It happens all the time. I can look through the parallels.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, easily.
That's okay.
So which makes it hard, if you're driving down the street and suddenly you have a vision, it's
I believe you. I believe you.
it's difficult to focus. Yeah, to see what's going on, and that's why I don't work a regular 9 to 5 job. It makes it a little difficult, and you have to be mindful of these things. But it's been going on for so many years that I've learned to, deal with it without, kind of feeling like I have to stay home all the time.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah, I mean, so what was the name of the character that you said I was in French?
No. I was just telling you that it was like Olivia and Bolivia, and they call her Bolivia, like B Olivia from Alter Reality. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah, well, know how it feels.
Jessica, why don't you share your story about the Nazi Hitler Youth Rally in New York City?
I'm trying to remember which one that was.
You said you were walking down the street, and I believe it was in New York City, and you
Oh,
saw.
yeah. There was a friend of mine who was having a lot of problems, and he said, why don't you, can you take a look and see what's going on? I mean, he was literally being psychically attacked. And he lives in New York. And I said, all right, let me take a look. And I got this clear vision of these people walking down like in a parade. And there was this woman with black hair. And she was standing on, it looked like a Jeep, like a military Jeep. And she was doing like the Hitler hand. And then all these people, I was like, what in the world's going on? There was this huge, like, alternate reality there connected. And I said to my friend, I said, I don't know how it happened, but you have this connection to this reality. I said, it's the first time I've ever seen it. It kind of concerned me because here I am in Boston, and it was just very, very real. And they were all marching down this road, and I felt like this woman was taking the place of Adolf Hitler, like she was the ruler there. But I didn't know who she was.
Yeah, like maybe.
That happened this summer.
But I'm just telling you, that in another reality, just by the way, and it's really weird. Just just for official record, it's really weird because your son, and I don't know, I'm not sure if it was his girlfriend, fiancé, or wife, I don't know. We was on the mission, and Hitler was visiting, I believe it was MIT, so it was like not far away from Boston.
Right.
Yeah, and he was meeting, I think it was the one of the Trump's children. I mean, maybe oldest one. I mean the son, because he looks very, very similar to Trump, but not exact like him. And they were talking about, how can I say that, punishment to people who will not to talk in German language on the streets. You know that it's how can I say that, like official authorities that he was, I mean, this, how can I say that, governor, if you want to call it that way, he really doesn't like the cruel punishments, you know, for that, because he was like, what the heck is going on here? Everything is working just fine. And Hitler was raging because, you know, he's like very patriotic, and what's total crazy, because he is not even German. He's from Austria. Yeah. And he was raging, so full of fury, because he wants to people to speak on the public German. And this governor, I don't know the name, I mean the surname was definitely Trump, but it's not nowadays president. And he was like, it's not you know, like, it's not necessary to make a huge bubble with for practically nothing, you know, because economy and all kind of this stuff was working very good. And they wanna do these crazy things to people. I mean, like smashing them, you know, and all kind of stuff, using electric paralyzers and all kind of these crazy things, just for stupid stuff, you know, not speaking German on the streets. And we were there, and we stole it. And that's a problem. I don't know what the heck is this it. Tell me.
Like a device of some sort?
No. It was small. It was like a box of the size approximately old VHS, like video cassette.
Oh,
And
okay.
I don't know what the heck was inside it, because it was sealed. And we were there only to steal it, not to open it. And tell me what was inside it, because you used something, you know, like make some crazy movement with your bare hand, and you tell me crazy word. I was like, what? And it was like, I don't know. I'm just telling you. And you repeat the same word again and again, and I don't know. I mean, I couldn't get it. What the meaning of the word? It was some piece of tech.
Do you think it was an Aldebranian language? Because sometimes the Aldebranian language comes through.
Yeah.
And it's a metal.
Can be.
It's a metal, but it moves. It's moving, and it's inside the box.
Yeah, you are right. You are right. It was like something, I don't want to say alive, but alive in the meaning,
right?
Like some artificial, extremely intelligence, extremely highly you know, intelligence AI, something like that. And like,
no, it's more of a communication device.
No. This was smart. This was really smart.
Okay. Yeah, and Aldebaran was probably trying to say something to you, and I was repeating it.
Yeah, and it was black, and suddenly all black, and suddenly on the very top you know, it it started to behave like not a smartphone, but you know, because it was larger, like a tablet, but very thick tablet, you know. And I was like, what the heck? And there were appearing symbols, respectively writings in language I never see or heard about
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
And then
Ancient.
because we lost so much time with it, and then were like, holy crap, we need to go fast, fast away, as go away as fast as we can. And then, believe me or not, you showed up with some crazy stuff. You, James, show just out of nowhere with crazy stuff. And I was like, what the heck are you doing here? We don't
Peter,
have
I'm a little lost. Is this a dream that you've had?
no, it's a no.
It was in
it's
that
re-
reality. It was
Yeah,
in the reality that
yeah.
I mentioned. He's
Yeah.
going
Was
in.
was this something that happened recently, or is this something that you
Yeah,
recall in the
it
past?
happened. It happened 3 days ago.
Wow.
And give me
I don't
a sec.
recall any of this.
No, give me a sec. I need to finish it. And you was like you know, breathing, because you was running fast. And I was like, what the heck are you doing here? This was not part of the plan. You are without any vehicle or you know, like a chopper or something like that. And you was like, we don't need a chopper, we have something much more better. And you just put some, it was ball, like, I don't know, 1 inch in diameter, and you throw it to the grass. And
Was it red?
yeah, it was.
Yeah, I
It
saw a
was
red
dark
ball
red.
earlier.
It was,
Yeah.
it was dark red, and it make very similar vehicle from it to how can I say that, the last Batman movie, but Batmobile is black, and this was dark red, like Shiraz red, like wine red, you know. And we went inside it, and we not drove away, we fly away, we flew away. And I was like, what the heck? And you piloted it, James, and you was laughing that, you are morons, you don't know nothing about piloting. And the craziest part of it was that I was like, what the heck are you doing, man? All people around can see us. And you were laughing like or ROLF, you know. No, we are using invisibility mode, you know. And after that, bam, I was back in this reality.
He's doing his missions at night when he's sleeping.
Yeah.
Right? And I heard that you did about 25 missions in the past month. At night.
Who?
That you don't remember.
Who, Jessica?
You. You,
No,
James.
you are not right. Not 25. 30.
30.
So when I go to bed at night,
Yes.
am I even getting any sleep at all?
It doesn't affect your physical body because you're stepping out. Was he moving as a Kruger runner? Is that how he was able to move so fast?
Yeah, because he was enhanced via Kruger. Yeah,
And
you
I
are right.
see him laughing. I could see him laughing.
Yeah.
Saying like,
But
look what
he
I
was
can do.
laughing.
Yeah.
He was laughing because he had something like fiber cables, optical cables in the legs, you know. And he was telling something about Fate Connors and Kate Connors and all kind of this stuff. These two girls from the game Mirror's Edge and all kind of. And I was like, what the heck?
Why are they not letting him remember? Because I could see it. Why isn't
Yeah,
he allowed to
Is this
remember?
like an
Because
is
it's
this an
awesome.
avatar body? My consciousness is projecting.
I don't know, but how is it possible that you how can I say that you was exactly you? I mean, like
You
as I can.
stepped out of your body. You stepped right out of your body, and then you're able to move into other dimensions.
Yeah, but I mean, you was you. I mean, your physical appearance pretty much matches your physical appearance now. But
Yeah.
I need to say something. You was much more. How can I say that? Well built. I mean, like muscular or something like that. You know.
What, so like
And
they shoot me
you
up with some
and you was
steroids?
and you was very short hair. No, I mean like almost nothing. I mean like two
You,
or
you,
3 millimeters, something like that.
oh, I
Like
think,
like in army or something like that, you know.
Peter, is it possible that that's him in the future? Because it almost seems like there's a disconnect in time-space a little bit there.
Yes,
Yeah, okay.
yes, it can be.
That's what it is. That's why you're not connecting with it. It's you in the future.
Yeah, but I don't want to cut my hair off.
No, it's
Seriously,
something that you do naturally later.
so like what I metamorphosize into this?
It's part of the travel or
Shapeshift?
whatever you're doing in your travel later on. Maybe it's easier for your hair to be short. Like you know how like I said that I don't know if it's a portal or something that you have to worry about your hair burning.
You was almost bald. You was almost bald, if you wanna call it that way.
By choice, right? Not because
Yeah, yeah, by choice, free willingly, if you wanna call it that
Yeah.
way.
But that's
you
like
have
a
hair,
tip.
but you
That's a
chose
really
to.
classic military look. So is this
Yeah,
part of like my
exactly.
programming? They put me in some trip seat and
No,
make me
you're
think.
doing this on your own. You come into a point of realization of who you are and why you're here, and it's you regain your sovereignty, so you're free, and you're deciding to help out. And in doing that, you liberate yourself from some of the things that get in the way. But you feel better because you're doing it on your own, not because you're being told that you have to. So it changes your enthusiasm, and you're having fun doing it because
So
it's easy for you.
are you suggesting my future self is going back in time and helping us out in this particular
Yes,
moment?
I think so.
Is
Absolutely.
that what you
Yeah.
believe, Peter? Oh, all right.
What? Sorry.
So you believe that as well? That perhaps our future selves are coming back in time to assist us, and like in
Yeah,
this particular case.
because believe it or not, but it's not about John Titor or something like that, but many time travelers are talking publicly in last few I don't want to say weeks but months. It's like last half year, maybe 7 or 8 months.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Well, I've been posting some videos on Super Soldier Talk from featured on Apex TV and YouTube. But there's this one case. This guy, he's from Georgia in the former Soviet Union, and he claims that they put him in this chair, and he transported to the year I believe 10,000. And then he met somebody there, and he said that there was some in the past 8,000 years there were a few wars, particularly with AI and humans, and that they finally settled differences, and there were Andromedans and aliens all living with humans now, and they had these giant skyscrapers built. They had trees were growing all over them. He said it was very beautiful there. People were levitating. They had technology. They levitate and walk on the water. It was near a port. So. I tend to believe stories like that, but there are a lot of hoaxers out there, and I think this guy who's claiming to be John Titor, he apparently is a hoaxster, or so, according to Jason Quit, his former that was his.
No. I don't wanna say he is telling the truth. I mean, the John Titor is telling the truth. No, I am just telling you that he was the very first one who decided to talk about this stuff publicly, and I am just telling that there are many people talking relevant things because our wisdomers can see the time total different way. They are trying to tell us that we as people are not able to comprehend that there is no, it's extremely complicated with time, that there is no past, present and future, that
Right.
everything is flowing, how can I say that, mutually, it's
Yeah.
like mutual, side by side, mixed together with each other and all kind of stuff. And these people who are telling their stories and experiences, according our wisdomers, uh, like 80, maybe 90% of them are telling the true stories. And
Right.
I'm like, what the heck is going on? And now I don't want to open this topic because it's a huge topic. It's mind blowing. These triggering mechanisms via traffic lights. What is going on from this year? Like from January 1st. I just mention it because we can talk about it hours and hours. So I think that very big things will happen before switching to fifth dimension.
Right. Well, why don't we go talk a little bit about the? You said that I believe iPhones were infected with they had biometric chips and they can scan people's faces. How about
Yes,
you
you are
talk?
right.
So does that mean people only with iPhones? What about other type of phones? Android, or I'm sure there's some others on
No,
the
no,
market, BlackBerry
it
and
doesn't matter.
yeah.
It doesn't matter if I am talking about iPhones or another type of also called smartphones. I am calling them dumb phones because yes, technology itself, it's smart, but smart technologies is making people much more and more dumb, because people, I don't need to think, I don't want to think. Why should I think? I've got a smartphone. Okay, and why? It's not a big deal. Once I don't know something, I put my smartphone out of the pocket and I will Google it. And I was like, what the heck are you talking about? And this is it. Smart technologies are making people dumb. Okay, but it's only off topic thing. So technically, okay, as new iPhones can recognize faces, but for example, new Samsung, it's like Galaxy S8, latest one, it can scan like people's eyes, and this is technically losing your privacy too. Believe it or not, but it's true. So how can I say that? People owning these smartphones are voluntarily giving up their privacy and their biometric data. They shouldn't get to these companies. Even fingerprints are very bad.
All right. So essentially, it doesn't even matter which brand you're going to be tracked and monitored, regardless.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. Yes, I can agree with this
Well,
claim. Yeah.
if that's the case, then why live in fear?
What, sorry?
Why live in fear if they're going to track us anyway? I mean,
That's a
as we go,
problem. I am not using smartphone. I'm
even
using
with
I'm using a normal phone. Like, I don't know how many years old, but it's still working.
yeah.
And
Well,
who is tracking us? Who is it?
yeah.
Try to think. Who? Huh?
Yeah.
I think
Well,
it's an AI.
government or AI. Well, cabal. I mean, do they even care about every single person or?
No, no, no. Uh, they are they. They is how can I say that? Uh, they has two meanings because it can be, how can I say that? It can, you can see it as pronoun, right?
Mhm.
But if you will write it with all capitals, it's the hierarchy enslaving you. Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
And it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if we are talking about cabal. I mean, like Freemasons, Illuminati, you know, Rosicrucians, or I don't know, you know, like Rotary, Lionists, Zionists, or if we are talking about aliens, hybrids, crossbreeds. It doesn't matter. Simply the ones who are behind the scene, behind the curtain, and uh, who want to control the masses. The, I mean, like the majority of population. Control, of course, with bad intentions, all the worst intentions, if you want to call it that way.
Yeah. Well, speaking of that, there was one of the questions that I had was this device that was showing up in New York City. $100 million was spent by the MTA to put these near 18 of them near tunnels and bridges. If you could pull that up in your list, did you get it, Peter? That
It's
link?
a massive metal looking structure. It's like a high rise building almost. It's large.
Yeah, but technically, you know, it's for monitoring and interfering. How can I say that? Monitoring and interfering people's uh,
Frequency?
frequencies, but I mean like, hmm, you know, thoughts, frequencies, ideas, everything, and interfering, of course, in bad way. It's like, how can I say that?
Mind control related
Yeah,
or
no,
yeah,
no, no. It's
no?
something like, oh, I get it finally. Confusion device. It's something like you are, you get to sleep. You will sleep like for, I don't know. Some people are okay with 6 hours. Another one for 7, 8, maybe 9 hours. You wake up and you are pretty much okay to get start a new day, okay? And this is it. uh, Once you wake up, you are something like tuned up radio or TV, right? But try to imagine it. Something, someone or something will always, uh, how can I say that, disturb the signal. I mean, it will be like jammer for your signal. So it will be like jammer for your reception of reality. So you will be lost, respectively, if not completely lost. You will be unable to focus to do mm, any type of important things, but not only at work. Any type of things like, I mean, because for example driving, I mean driving a car or something like that, it's important to focus, of course, because you know, once if you are not focused to what's going on in front of you, you can make I mean you can cause a car crash.
Right.
And this is it what they are, I don't want to say they are planning to do massively, but they are just testing it. Okay.
And interestingly, it's near the tunnels and bridges, so it seems like they're targeting commuters, or is it perhaps during like a martial law scenario, they're trying to mind control
Yeah.
crowds?
The second alternative is right. Yeah, they are. I don't want to say they are making it, but they are preparing to this alternative. Yeah. Yes,
Okay,
you are pretty much right. Yeah.
well, let's go on here, and I have a lot of questions. Is that okay if we can move on? Some more questions, or
Yeah. At least from my point of view, definitely yes.
okay. Well, how about we go up to the very top about the Atlanta airport outage, which was on December 17th, 2017. There are different rumors. Of course, typically they would not turn off the airport power like that. There's backup generators, so it had to be done on purpose. And there's different theories. One is they were arresting cabal members and taking them to Guantanamo, Cuba, for prosecution. Or another theory is that there's allegedly there was an Israeli plane that landed, a cargo airline, that had special customs clearance that allows them to transport very dangerous materials. Could be radioactive or could be viral. And of course, the CDC the Centers for Disease Control is in Atlanta. And there's one theory that perhaps they were transporting some kind of virus.
I need to stop you.
Go
The
ahead.
second one is right, because the umbrella because the umbrella corporation has this type of thing. Do you know what I'm talking about?
The zombie virus, Ouroboros.
I don't want to say zombie, but I don't know technically which one, because they've got tons of types of them. But the problem is that it was, how can I say that, made ad hoc. So I mean, like, for one specific purpose. And they, do you know, these hurricanes, they made this huge spread out of these viruses in Florida and Texas. And they are collecting first samples, how well, because of course, from my point of view, once something bad is spreaded, it's not well spreaded, but from their point of view, it's well spreaded. How well it was spreaded, and how is it affecting all the surroundings? Do you know what I mean? So this was it. I mean, like, sensitive material. Yeah, you are exactly right. Yes.
Well, the records show the plane was supposed to go to Liège, Belgium, but instead it went to Cyprus, and then it went to the Israeli Institute for Biological Research in Israel,
Yeah,
the
and I've got a
IIBR.
question. I've got a question for you. Do you know why to the Cyprus?
No, why? What do you think's going on with that?
Because in Cyprus is detached central, the largest detached central outside Great Britain, largest central outside the Britain of MI5. You know, British intelligence company. You know, it's not a coincidence.
So are you suggesting MI5 is working with Umbrella Corporation?
I'm
Maybe
not
as a
suggesting
contractor?
it. It's not a suggestion. It's clear fact.
All right. Okay, so again, I guess the only thing I could add to that is that the IIBR is Israel's clandestine arsenal of chemical and biological weapons. So I guess we need to figure out what do you think? Who do you think Israel is? This Israel targeting? Is that the ones behind IIBR, or is this an IIBR? Is that a division of Umbrella Corporation?
This is
What are
it.
your thoughts?
This is it. I don't. It doesn't matter. It total doesn't matter if we are talking about the U.S., UK, Israel, or another state all around the world. Okay, I need to answer your question first. Of course, it is division of umbrella corporation, but this kind of dirt will not get to any state, any country all around the world. It's like, how can I say that? Okay, we need this, that, and that, but you will be your contractor. You will who will develop it for us, test for us, and who will give us virus and antidote. Do you know what I mean? End of the deal. This is it.
Well, Peter, there's some things that don't make sense about the story. First of all, why would they transport this on a plane? Don't they have these underground trains that can go Mach 1.8
No,
or apparently faster?
You total get it. You total didn't get it.
Oh, so they're spreading the material while they're in flight?
Yeah, exactly. On the above the Europe. Yes.
But why? Okay, so why would they shut the airport down? Are they worried that other people get infected at that airport and they just?
No. They want to to keep it secret.
Well, it's not secret anymore for those who watch the show.
This is it. What we are doing. I mean,
okay.
This is why we are doing this, because people should know about it. Okay.
All right.
This is it.
Well, shall we move on, or is there anything else you want to comment about that?
At least from my point of view, we are okay.
I think the only other thing I could mention about that, it's not in my notes, is that there was a fire in Atlanta near the airport on December 7th, about 10 days prior. I don't have access to pull anything up right now, but is any of this related to each other? It looked like a huge explosion, actually.
Yeah.
Do you have any information on that explosion?
Yeah.
What happened?
They just blow up this. I don't know which specific chemicals were stored there, but there were specific chemicals. They were mixed in order to, how can I say that? In order to enhance the effects of these viruses, and they had too much reserves for flight. I mean, once they will transport all the reserves to the cargo plane, it will be too heavy to start. Do you know what I mean? This is it. So they how can I say that, they didn't count it exactly, and they made too much of these chemicals, so they separated. Okay, this amount of chemicals, this weight, it's okay for starting the plane, and the rest of them, boom, the explosion. They need to get rid of it.
Oh, so instead of sending it to a toxic waste dump, they just spread it all over Atlanta.
Yeah, on purpose, because it was like, how can I say that, two birds with one stone. They get rid of it, and they tested the effects, how it will affect the people in Atlanta. Yes.
Yeah, sure would.
It was two birds with one stone thing, if you wanna call it that way.
Right. Okay. Well, hopefully the resistance or the alliance, or if there is such a thing, could stop these actions. But maybe that's why we're here doing what we do. Okay. So shall we move on?
I think that we are okay until Jessica don't wanna talk. Don't wanna have any additions about this.
Is there anything you want to add to that, Jessica?
Not necessarily. Yeah, I think you guys covered it well.
All right, so the next one is the Hawaii missile attack on January 13th, Saturday. The news media is reporting that it's actually fake news. It wasn't a real attack. It was an accident. Again, it was done. The message went off on the emergency alert system, but that's done on a state level. It's not a federal level, so it's not really the federal government's problem. I mean, mistake. If it was a mistake. But apparently, according to certain, I don't know if it's 4chan or QAnon
There's
sources,
QAnon. Yeah.
probably claim that a Cabal sub launched a nuke, and they were going to try to blame North Korea to and start this war. And then the Alliance, the Secret Space Program Alliance, apparently shot it down. They destroyed the sub. And then some of these Cabal members were trying to escape over Michigan, and they were shot down as well.
But they thought that was a comet or something. Or what did they think that was?
But what do you mean by Masao or Masao? In the very first sentence, I didn't get it very well.
Well, according to the source here, apparently there was a nuke, a nuclear payload or warhead that was launched from a submarine, and this emergency alert system would not have gone off. Apparently, there's some fail safes built into it to prevent it from being an accident. So the news media is actually making up fake news by not telling people the truth that this actually did happen, but it was stopped because we got people within the secret space program that are on our side.
I wanna tell
apparently.
It is true, but it wasn't stopped by people from SSP, what means Secret Space Program, but it was stopped by I can't remember the exact name. Simply, I wanna make it simply. Extraterrestrials, astral light beings, because technically it sounds like a nonsense, because once they are astral, it doesn't matter if they are from the Earth or from outer space. But it's not completely true. I mean, like, it's not a nonsense, because they are like how can I say that? Outcarnation, like incarnation and outcarnation. So they are outcarnated, highly consciousness. I mean, with a very high level of consciousness beings from Andronicas. You are transmitting with them, Jessica.
Yeah, yeah.
And they prevent to start the nuclear war. And I was, to be perfectly honest, I was very surprised that you didn't came up with that. Once you are talking regularly with Andronicas.
They don't tell me everything. Sometimes they'll I just discovered that they multi-locate. They're in all these different dimensions. And I just found a group out in Pluto. So, every now and then they'll tell me something, but they don't tell me everything. But I'm not surprised. They have been stepping up, and they do work with, different groups of those higher levels.
Yes, you are right. Sometimes they are very, how can I say that? Heidi, they don't want to talk about the things, because right. They are, how can I say that, they are very, how can I say that, frugal, like, humble, and
yeah, they're very humble. They don't want to take credit for a whole lot. They want us to actually, they want humanity to actually take control of this reality. They don't want to step in, and they're encouraging humanity to take control and not feel like they're a victim, and get out of this mind control effort of that we have to be submissive to everything, and that giving up. which a lot of humanity has done, and they want us to stop feeling that way and take back our sovereignty. And so they will help out, but they don't want us to rely on them.
Yeah, you are right.
Yeah.
Their goal is, how can I say that, to make us more responsible for our actions, but not like our actions as individuals, but our actions as mankind, as whole civilization.
Right. Absolutely.
And Jessica, we were talking about this yesterday, about the SSP, because when it said the Alliance shot down this nuke payload, it didn't make sense to me, because from the research that I've come across, it appears that there really isn't any secret space programs that really care much about what happens to us here on planet Earth.
Yes, you are right. Just by the way.
Yeah, but I mean, apparently there is an alliance. So I just was I think it's not like what we really think, because I mean, we hear about Corey Good and this alliance, but they're really not doing much actively to help anything. There may be just a few whistleblowers here and there. I don't think there's like an organized group.
I don't want to say that they are bad people or something like that, but they are, how can I say that, that they are like, how can I say that, pretty comfortable with their bubble. I mean, their bubble, like, do you know what I mean? Like, we've got our own comfort zone. We are doing our own things. Our researches and all kinds
our
of
resistance.
stuff.
Well,
this is our resistance.
They have sort of a corporate thinking. They're thinking about what's good for them and not universal.
Yeah.
Don't rock the boat. Let's not interfere.
Exactly. So this
get involved.
They are not bad. I don't want to say people, because not of them are not. I don't want to say not all of them, but most of them are not people, but they are aliens, crossbreeds, and hybrids. But it doesn't matter. Simply, very simply, most of these entities, if you wanna call them that way, are not bad, but they are not good from point of view that they don't wanna involve in the things in order to move them to right directions. Do you know what I mean? I mean, right in the name of like good for the mankind. And from my point of view, is like, why should we care? If they will be good, it will be fine. If they will, I don't know, like die out, no, not the problem, big deal, not the problem for us. We've got tons of another planets, you know.
Right. Yeah. That's something. A lot of them have that escape mentality. If things don't work out, let's make sure we have a little, comfortable place to go to. And that's not the way we're supposed to be thinking. And they're not going to end up in that nice little comfortable place if that's all they're thinking about is themselves.
You are absolutely right.
I said personally, I will ask to be there waiting for them if they think that they're going to do something to this planet and take off. I will go there myself.
Yeah, that was
waiting
one
for
of
them.
One of our questions. Oh, go ahead, Jessica.
It's the entire planet. We're supposed to be working together as a group, helping one another, and making raising our humanity so we can become more galactic minded. Because in the future, we have to be able to not be dependent on other species, but be able to interact with them, and not in a warfare type of environment, but in a harmonious and communicative way. But those that think they're going to escape, they're in for a surprise.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, can you?
No. You are at least from my point of view, you are absolutely right.
Yep.
Peter, can you comment on where? Because some of these, according to the story here, it says the Cabal members were trying to escape the planet after the submarine was destroyed. They were destroyed over Michigan. Where were they trying to escape to? What was their destination point?
12th dimension.
But that's such a high frequency. How could they possibly survive if they're so
That's a
negative?
problem, man. Because how can I say that? They are. I need to be honest, okay? Super honest for you, with you. Sorry. They are so stupid that they don't know. They even have no goddamn clue what are they doing.
Right.
Because they are so self-confident, so full of like
Arrogance.
yeah, arrogance. Yeah, you are absolutely right. And arrogance and like like pride and all kind of stuff, vanity, that they believe that they will, how can I say that, they will survive everything, because if plan A will not work, then there is like plan B, C, D, E or something like that. Do you know what I mean? And they didn't get it yet, that their vibes, their vibrations, that they will not survive because of them. I mean, because they are low vibrated,
But some of them think, Peter, that they can put themselves in a robotic body, and that's going to sustain them, and that's not going to work either.
No.
Yeah.
No. Because they have, and do you know why? I mean, do you know why not? Because of bad intentions. It will not work will not work for them because of that.
Right. Absolutely. Yep.
So essentially, they were hoping they would destroy put nuclear fallout over the planet, then kill off the people, and then hide out in their bunkers for a couple years while they use their technology to clean up the planet after everyone's dead, and then come back as the new rulers or gods over humanity.
Yeah, exactly. And they will make, I mean, like almost everlasting or like extremely long life controlled populated I don't want to say people, they will like bionic some stuff, I don't know, like Robocops or something, and they will be like over approximately half, or respectively slightly over 500 million, like 500 million, something like that, all around the world, and they will serve them as ultimate servants. Yeah.
But it doesn't. I've looked into that reality and that future, and they're miserable, and they're so miserable that some of them just try to come back into the past and fix it.
Yeah.
That's what I've seen.
Yeah, you are right.
They're so unhappy. They're like, what did we do?
Because they realized, how can I say that? Yeah, because they realized that even for them, it's this goal, this aim, what they get long time ago in their sick heads. It will not work for them. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like it's bad idea.
They don't want to. At that point, they make it so miserable that they want to die. They don't want to live. Mm-hmm. So they really would rather come back and fix it.
Yes,
it's right. A hard lesson for them. Very hard.
Yes, you are right.
And the other issue is that if you have a bunch of these alpha dogs in the same underground base or facility together, if they're willing to sacrifice humanity, they would sacrifice each other. So it would eventually be the extinction of humanity, unless somehow, I guess, the bionics and all that were introduced.
But not only that, James, there's no purpose in life. They're so unhappy. There's nothing that gives them joy. It's just like a desolation, and seeing nothing but death. And there's nothing. There's no love. There's no consciousness. It's a horrible. It's a hell. It's a type of hell.
All right,
Yes,
so
That's what they showed me.
you are
Yeah.
absolutely right.
well, I want to ask another question about this. What city would have been targeted by this nuke, or if it was multiple nukes, and how many would have died if this would have been successful?
Technically, they can hit any city like they want.
All right. So I guess at this point, really doesn't matter because it was stopped. I guess we shouldn't dwell too much on it. But I was just
Yeah.
curious that. As far as how many would have died, it would have been substantial enough to poison the whole planet. It would have been a small nuke, a micro nuke, or would have been big enough to wipe out the West Coast
No, you
or
are
Hawaii.
always talking. You are always talking about only about US, but we need to talk about this problem globally.
Yeah. Yeah. It could
All
happen
right. So
anywhere, right? Yeah.
okay, so let's move on here to the next one. Next question has to do with the dustification
Eh,
that's occurring after these fires in California.
What?
Um, Essentially, there were some neighborhoods that burned down just north of, I believe it was in just north of San Francisco area,
Then there was the
and
other fires down by LA as
as well as
well.
the Getty near the
Yeah.
Getty Museum.
Yeah. So technically, we need to talk about the very important topic we happened last few months. It's the very same case as in Valparaiso, in respectively not far away from Valparaiso in Chile. Big the where the Umbrella Air Monarch uh, have huge underground labs and bases, and they build them together, and they need to get rid of all the evidence, and they simply set them to fire. And it was crazy because there were tons of videos on YouTube where people caught it on video footage when in Cali, right in North California, there were nothing, like no fire, nothing at all, and then suddenly the the flames appeared out of nowhere from the earth. Do you know what I mean? It was crazy. So this is it, what I'm talking about.
Okay,
So
and how about stories of how like some of these trees were catching on fire from the inside out? The
Yes, this is
outside
it, what I'm
yeah.
didn't
talking
look
about.
burnt.
This is it. This
Yeah.
is it.
Or
Was it lasers?
cars looked like it was melted right underneath a tree. That
It
didn't look like it
claimed
was
that it was
singed.
lasers. Yeah.
Yeah, this is it.
Okay, so also you were talking about evidence, covering evidence, and so in LA, right around the time when the whole thing with the Pinot Gate started coming out in Hollywood, was about the time when the fire started. As to me, it appeared as a distraction with Kevin Spacey or Paul Serene. Scenario.
Yeah. The problem is that technically Paul Serene, Kevin, that's the problem because actual Kevin Spacey from another reality came to this reality and talked to all so-called Kevin Spacey, who is not Kevin Spacey, but Paul Serene. And he was like, what the heck? Because he visited real deal Kevin Spacey, visited his own house in this reality, and he met his alternate himself, which wasn't alternate himself, but Paul Serene. And he was like, what? And like, this kind of face. surprised face. And just by the way, I saw it personally because my friend, very good friend of mine, was talking with Kevin Spacey. Sorry, my bad. With Paul Serene, looking like Kevin Spacey, of course. As, how can I say that, agent provocateur. I mean, like secret agent trying to make some huge deal with DARPA, you know, because he was like, I am DARPA man, you know, DARPA sended me, blah blah blah. He set up some I mean, he made up some really good cover story. Just by the way, he's a very good liar. And this accident happened, so I saw it on my own eyes from video footage, because he had camera hidden in how can I say that, in a knob. Do you know what I mean? In a knob.
Peter, you're gonna have to back up here because I'm a little confused. You mentioned one Kevin Spacey and there's a Paul Serene, and there's apparently those two are clones of each other. And then you mentioned another parallel Earth.
Yeah, I mean, like this Kevin's real deal Kevin Spacey from another reality clone himself. I don't know for which purpose. I really don't know. And he visited this reality and he met Paul Serene, who looks exactly like Kevin Spacey, and they both of them met each other in Kevin Spacey's, what technically means Paul Serene's house. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy.
And Paul Serene's house is in L.A.
Yeah.
Are you? Okay, but I thought Monarch Solutions was based under Toronto, and that part of the directly under Toronto.
You are right, but officially, of course, he needs to be in LA. Do you know what I mean? Kevin Spacey is living in, I don't know, somewhere in Hollywood, or I don't know, Beverly Hills maybe. I don't
So
know.
he could be a celebrity.
Yeah.
So-
He wants to be known.
So that way, when Paul Serene goes out in public, people think he's Kevin Spacey.
Yeah, exactly. This is it.
But now with this, with him molesting this child, I don't think he really wants to be seen in the public.
Yeah, you are right. You are
So
right.
maybe he's a little embarrassed. And now, was this what? I guess this was his clone that performed this action, not necessarily himself. This sexual abuse. Peter.
Sorry, I'm here. Sorry, I'm here.
Okay, yeah, I don't even remember the question. Okay, so I
Yeah,
guess
the question is whether or not it was a clone or the actual Kevin Spacey that did that.
the sexual abuse.
I mean, it was the actual Kevin Spacey, not Paul Serene.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But certainly Paul Serene probably would be capable of doing stuff with that based on some of the other stuff that goes on with Monarch Solutions.
Yes, you are right.
Yeah. And
But did that cause the fires? Is that the reason why they
Yeah, that's the
created
next
the
question.
fires as a distraction?
Yeah.
From looking at Hollywood and some of the others, because they have the money, I'm sure, to cover.
Yep.
Yeah.
now you mentioned there was this knob. The fire started in this knob.
Yeah.
Like a doorknob?
No. I'm talking about like. I'm talking about knob. Help me. It's knob in Sark. I mean in West. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, like a button?
Yeah, it's like a button. Yes, and it was hidden there. It's crazy.
So
And
Hit
there
the
there
camera
was
in
the
someone's vest
yeah.
button. Yeah, okay.
So you're suggesting that was it Kevin Spacey that clone?
No, I'm telling
Paul.
you, man.
Who started the fire?
No, Give me a sec. I'm trying to tell you that my friend of mine, was an agent provocateur. Like hello, because he went to Paul Serene looking like Kevin Spacey, and he was like a fake DARPA man, trying to get some huge contract for Monarch, and he had uh, hidden camera, because he was agent provocateur, you know. He had a hidden camera in West, in Sark button, you know. And I saw this actual meeting when Kevin Spacey met Paul Serene looking like Kevin Spacey. This is it, what I'm trying to say.
Can you explain why? Why did they want to start this fire near the Getty Museum?
Once again, because they wanna get rid of all the evidence. I mean,
yeah.
I'm talking about Umbrella and Monarch.
Yeah, everyone's getting a little too close to some of the things that they've been doing in secret.
Yeah, this is it, because they need to have two. How can I say that? They were two very important conditions for realizing this type of research. Wind, extremely windy weather, what is typical for middle, respectively North California, and lots of water. I mean, salty water from the ocean, you know. So North California, ideal place for such a type of experiments on the West Coast.
Well, my friend that lives around LA said that it was exceptionally warm. It was almost like 20 degrees warmer in temperature during that time. Unnaturally, usually that season is cooler. And so the heat, as well as this abnormal wind, seem to have been fabricated or somehow manipulated.
Yeah. So this is it, what I'm talking about, Jessica. This is exactly it.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the Getty Museum. Now, I don't know if it was actually during the fires, but people have heard reports of children screaming, I guess maybe behind doors in the museum. Peter, what are your thoughts? Well, what's going underneath the Getty Museum?
Which exact museum are we talking about?
Oh, the Getty Museum is in LA. It's right there near the Hollywood sign in that area.
Getting Museum, sorry?
The Getty, Getty.
Getty, okay, Getty. You mean like this? They are, yeah. You mean like this museum, or they are trying to get what, extraterrestrial life or something like that? Evidence?
Well, for starters, the museum was way over budget, and additionally, there's extreme amounts of security even for a museum. So there have been reports of people that have worked in that facility underneath the Getty. Apparently, there are children being taken down there, and
I need to ask you something. Do you know why children? Okay.
To harvest their bone marrow?
Very hard question, very easy answer. Look, try to see the fringe, and you will get the answer. They wanna make the experiments with enhancement of mankind consciousness, and they get to very solid outcome. No, not young people, not teenagers. We want children. I mean children, I'm talking about like from age 7, maybe 5, maybe 7 to 10, maybe 12. And after that, after this like 5, maybe 7 years of experimenting, I mean of starting experiments, there will be another 5, maybe 7 years of how can I say that, stabilizing. So it's like from 10 to 14 years, and in about like 15, maybe 20 years, when these young people will be teenagers, respectively very young adults, they are pretty much ready, if you want to call it that way.
Ready for what?
PMR. It's like pretty much ready. That's the question. For what? For enhancements. I mean, for arguments, implanting arguments under the skin, you know, and of course to the brain, to your skull.
Okay.
It's not
again,
okay. It's not okay. Even it's only phrase in English language. Just by the way.
Now, did they do that to us, Peter?
Of course.
Yeah. So this is, and that's how they got control of the situations.
Yeah, you are right.
And it's perfectly not okay. I agree with you.
I do want to mention, listen to Stephen Kelly. He was one of the whistleblowers that talked about the Getty Museum. And hopefully, I believe a lot of the children were rescued. I'm assuming probably that there are some facilities down there that are still conducting these experiments based on what you're saying, Peter and Jessica.
Definitely, they are still doing it. I mean, they need to do it because it's a long-term contract for DARPA. They can't stop it. You are not right. They can't stop it. It's a contract for DARPA for, I mean, like, it will end something like 2030, 2035, something like that.
And there's no way that it will end sooner than that.
I mean,
is it possible it could end sooner than that? That's what I'm asking. You know what I'm saying? I
know.
Yeah.
It's crazy, you know.
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's.
Just by the way, you should get warmer overall. I mean, do you know what I mean? The vest, the overall, because we were in Oymyakon in Russia, and in last mission it was like 3 or 4. No, it was 5 days ago, and it was like more than 70 degrees under the Celsius, under the zero, and you wasn't good, you know. Dressed for it.
You're talking about me? For me?
Yeah. So that's the reason.
I know
why
they've had me go. They had me go to Iceland already. So you know, in this aspect of me. So yeah, they're trying to prepare me for some of the cold.
Yeah. So that's the question. Why that's the reason why you are sick right now. No question asked.
Yeah.
I also want to mention to the audience members, be sure to check out the Heather material on Project Camelot. Heather Anderson apparently worked with some of these augmented super soldiers under a base in Orlando, and I actually did a filming around there a couple years ago with Jay Essex, so you can also check that out as well. And it's a document you can download PDF. I'll put a link for it if I can find it for the audience members. All right, so shall we move on to the next question?
Definitely.
Okay, Jessica, this was actually your question. Now you submitted a photo to Peter about William Defoe and Pedogate. Why don't you share to the audience members what we're looking at here with this photo?
It was just something I saw on Facebook. I don't know if it's a legitimate photo. It was a combination of there's a Queen Beatrice from the Netherlands, and there was someone who was actually a high priestess for Clinton's. And then there was a picture of Willem Dafoe and someone by the name of Haggerty to the right of him. Now, Willem Dafoe, the priestess, and the Haggerty was had white makeup on them, and they were kind of dressed up theatrically, I would say. But the thing that I found was interesting.
They're dressed up as drag almost.
Yeah, or they could have been doing some kind of theater or something, right? We don't know really what they were doing, or they just did a ceremony. I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't even know if this picture was legitimate, but what I found very interesting is the picture of Willem Dafoe. I drew a picture of him years ago. I didn't know who he was, of a man with a white face and red hair sticking up. And I was like, well, and he was wearing a long robe. And there were 4 men in the picture. And here there were these 4 people in the picture. And there was me and I was a young child, a young girl, and there was a woman next to me. Both of us had like, we looked like extraterrestrials or futuristic people. There was a spacecraft behind us and a staircase. And there was a symbol on my head. It was sort of like this, and then came down and swirled. But it was like a weird, like, marking on my forehead.
In which picture? Because I don't get the picture.
You don't have I didn't have. It was an art picture that I drew, and I'll have to get it at some point. And
check your Skype. I sent it to you, Peter. Is it downloading? I could try adding it to this conversation, but go ahead, Jessica.
Yeah, so that was the picture that I drew, but I saw this picture of Willem Dafoe from probably about 7 years ago.
I don't know. I didn't get it yet.
So the picture that I drew, I didn't send, but the picture of the Queen Beatrice, it should be there with Willem Dafoe and this high priestess.
Okay, I get it.
Do you see the way he looks?
Do you see it now?
Red hair and everything.
Yeah.
I drew that picture almost exactly of him. So
interesting.
I don't know why and where I was in that image, because I saw it very clearly that there was a spacecraft. There was me as a child. There was an older woman that was like a mother. And there were these 4 men, and I met with each one of them. I don't know what this was. I don't know if you have any information, or we're just, it's just way out there.
Interesting.
And William Dafoe, he played Jesus in the most recent movie. Is that correct?
Yeah, well, it was
like
a
film?
Scorsese movie. It was sort of like a showing Jesus in more of a different light, not typical, more as someone that is promiscuous as opposed to the way that they usually portray Jesus.
Well, shall we move on?
Yeah, Peter, if you don't have anything...
At least from my point of view, definitely, yes, we are okay.
All right. So the next question has to do with Julian Assange. So recently, it was Julian Assange, who, of course, he's the director of WikiLeaks. He was the one who helped expose Hillary Clinton's crooked dealings. Now, according to QAnon, Trump's net worth before he was in office was $4.1 billion. Now it's $3.5 billion. So he's lost about $600 million. The Clintons' net worth was $450,000, and now they're worth $100 million. Obama was worth $3 million. Now he's worth $30 million, and $29 million was just transferred to Singapore, where he plans on escaping when shit hits the fan. And Nancy Pelosi, she's also sent $8 million to and McCain $19 million offshore. So Trump is using his own money for the deep state takedown, whereas Hillary Clinton and Obama, they are doing the opposite. So Hillary Clinton was working with someone known as Trader 44, according to QAnon. Is Trader 44 George Soros? And what is his role in the cabal?
But that's my question. Why do you think that Soros and T44 or Traitor 44 is are the same people?
Well, George Soros turned on his own people. Of course, he's Jewish, and he escaped World War II. While I guess he left his own people back there. I think he helped cause the destruction of some of the folks in the concentration camps. So I guess that's why they call him 44, because maybe that's when he turned on his folks, on his peeps. Do you have any comments about
Yeah,
that?
but what do you mean by Traitor 44?
Well, that's what QAnon
Yeah,
was referring to
QAnon
this
called it.
person. Yeah, so I was just
Because
curious what.
because it's like a traitor. I mean, traitor or trader? That's my question.
Traitor.
Traitor. I know what you are talking about.
Yeah.
Because technically, Traitor 44 is not him, but it's somebody else.
All right. And do you have any information about that?
Yeah.
Who this person apparently is working with Hillary Clinton. So
Yeah.
what can
I've
you
got
tell
a
us?
question. I've got a question.
Yes.
Jessica, can you remember the worst part of numbers group?
Yeah.
The number?
No, not the number, but was it 12?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So it's 12. It's how can I say that? The 12 is Traitor 44, who is dealing directly with George Soros. So technically, how can I say that? Yes, George Soros is Traitor 44. I mean, not publicly known, but in certain societies known as Traitor 44, but he is only Traitor's 44 puppet, because he 12 from numbers group made Semyase, yeah. Semyase.
I'm not surprised.
She made him believe that he is in charge, but it's not true. It's bullshit. It's BS, because she is in charge, controlling the stuff.
Does she think he's Billy Myers too?
Yeah.
I mean, what? Jeez.
Because he's
What is wrong with
manipulating.
her? What is wrong with her?
Because she's manipulating the people, you know.
Wow.
Because how can I say that? She's like, yeah, you are. Yes, here you are in charge. You can do this, that, and that. And
George
it's not.
Soros is Billy Myers.
No. I am telling you that George Soros, Billy Myers, and all kind of these people, they are not in charge. They are only puppet of
Semyase.
12. Semyase or 12. Yep.
Okay. And I was just curious.
Problem, and that's the problem. That, do you know why? Because she's able to make him younger. Have astral. It's not about physical. No. It's about astral world. Have astral sex with them and make lots of their children. Do you know what I mean? And these children are like members of this. How can I say that? The hierarchy enslaving you. I mean, like this Illuminati, Freemasons, and like Rotary, Zionist, or Rosicrucians, something like that.
My friend Susie actually worked for George Soros until he fired her because she brought some corruption issues to him. And then she just recently visited Billy Meyer of her in Switzerland, so I just find that an
Wow.
interesting curiosity. And again, Susie put on the video when I was with Preston Nichols in New York on the Monroe Institute chair. So you can see her in that video. She was putting on some conferences for super soldiers, but maybe she's a byproduct of semiosis and I don't know. You know, I don't even want to go here. Keep that
Wow.
private. But
Isn't it crazy? Isn't it crazy?
It does. It gets weirder
I need to give her a
and
call.
weirder.
Yeah, I know. But okay,
Yeah.
so all right. Is there anything? Is anybody? Oh, I wanted to ask about George Soros. Whatever happened to him in the reality where the Nazis won the war? Were they sympathetic to him?
Yeah, of course, because technically, help me, Adolf Hitler is 1/4 Jew too. He's Hebrew because he's how can I say that? Oh, help me. His grandmother from mother's side is Hebrew. I mean, she's Jewish.
Yeah, wasn't he like an offspring of a like illegitimate type situation with Baron Rothschild and one of his servants?
Yeah. She's like Zuck. Sorry, he is like Zuck. I mean Zuckerberg. You know.
Zuckerberg.
Yeah. All right. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on here because we're really starting to get over time. But the next question is: there are reports of UN troops in Chicago, as reported on the Alex Jones show, which was when they were reporting on it, the station went down. Are these UN troops cabal related? And I do want to mention, according to Snoops, this story is blatantly false. So I can put a link to that. They claim that that's not true.
Yes, it's not true. Yes, it's not true. You are right.
So what are these reports? Was this just somebody just trying to get some drama going?
No, these people are trying to, how can I say that, to test people's attention and ability of how can I say that, recognizing hoaxes. I mean, fake news between all this kind of crazy information.
So it can't be the Hollow Earth behind these people. Sorry.
So, and I need how many questions do we have?
Well, I got 2 more left.
Okay, and after that we need to talk about very important stuff at last, but not least. But go ahead.
Okay, so we'll make these 2 real quick. We'll try to make them quick. This next one may be a little bit longer, but okay. So this question is: can you confirm if Anderson Cooper is a Vanderbilt? Well, I don't think we need to confirm that. We already know. And his family is engaged in pedophilia, similar to the Podesta case. According to QAnon, he is a CIA Operation Mockingbird agent. And there's a picture here. So, Peter, I was hoping you could pull that up. There's a picture of him in an office, and there's a printout, cutout little girl. Can you confirm that is Jean Benet Ramsey behind him?
Yeah.
Okay. Now he works for the Gannett. I believe he works for the Gannett Corporation, or he was reading a piece of on his desk is something from the Gannett Corporation, which company is a publicly traded American holding company centered in Tysons Corner, Virginia, and again near McLean in the Greater Washington D.C. area. So again, this I don't know if it's multinational, but this large media conglomerate appears to be a CIA related, and I probably don't even need to ask you that, Peter, for you to say that. Yes, but so
yes, you are right. I mean, the sources you get this intel from, they are right. Yes.
What can you tell us about Gannett Corporation? So, is there anything nefarious going on? I guess we just know that it's just all CIA Mockingbird mouthpiece.
Yes, you were right. But they are not cooperating with CIA only. They are cooperating with intelligence agencies all around the world.
Okay, and what are your thoughts about Jean Benet Ramsey, him having a cutout, life-size cutout of this girl in his office?
Technically, he is not him. I mean, how can I say that? He is not a human, so there is no. He's help me. Draconian. I mean, the lizard from seventh dimension. So there is lack of. How can I say that? Feelings, empathy, and all kind of this stuff. So he's simply doing what he like to do.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't.
Do I venture to
go ahead.
ask about Jean Benet Ramsey? I heard someone told me once, and I have absolutely no proof of this, that Jean Benet Ramsey is Lady Gaga. Is there any truth in that?
Technically, it can be possible for this from this point of view, because Lady Gaga is also, I mean, Stephanie. I don't know the second name. Third name is Stephanie Germanotta or something like that. She's lizard too.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
very like slimmy, slicey, something like that, like that. You know, like these lizards. You know.
And I do want to mention the web bots claim, Cliff High claim that in the future, the Mockingbird media is going to be exposed to the point where it's going to go back to like the 1950s, where there was a government monitors put in place to track fake news. So all this whole the whole media apparatus is about ready to coming crashing down, and I'm sure the PDO gate is going to be brought out to the public, apparently, according to him, anyway. So I do want to. The last question is Reddit by FBIanon claims they were tracking 7 shipping containers through Canada, and I guess this was on Twitter, and then the Twitter post was taken down. Of course, as we know, Twitter has been whitewashing and trying to delete a lot of this disclosure movement. And according to the Twitter post, these containers were en route to the United States, and the SEALs and SER team were tracking them. And SERT stands for Special Emergency Response Team. These containers were said to have weapons on board of massive power, and apparently ISIS is behind this shipment. What can you tell us, Peter, is on these containers?
If you are perpetuum mobiles, if you want to call them that way. Perpetuum mobile, I mean like device which can produce energy instantly for practically, how can I say that, forever. You know?
Well, why would they want? I mean, it almost sounds like they were trying to transport something dangerous. Would that be considered dangerous?
Very dangerous, because it's unstable. Why is it moving? It's like, how can I say that, napalm or, you know, TNT. Because once is it in stable place, not a problem. But do you know what these fools did? These fools. How can I say that? These fools transported via, it was turned on. It's some, how can I, which comparison will be good comparison? Oh, I've got it. Try to imagine you will stop at a gas station, and you want to tank the fuel, but your engine will be still running. It's like, holy crap, are you serious? You know, something like that. Extremely dangerous.
Yeah. Well, if they have this free, it sounds like a free energy device.
Yeah, you were right.
So does that mean
but once again, very unstable via moving, you know?
Well, So what was the final destination of this, and who needs these technologies? The public probably could benefit from it, but
No, no,
who?
no, not the public. In the Nevada, in Colorado, and of course
NORAD?
this in the no, 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 and of course these huge help me these huge. So this first two, it was in Colorado. It was for umbrella, then in Canada for umbrella too, and in Colorado, and in these states in US, not so far away from Canadian border and Great Lakes. So it's like I am talking about like northeast of US for Monarch, and these, because that's the problem, they don't it's extremely complicated to operate, to get the energy from these huge reactors, because they are huge, extremely uneconomical, hard to maintain, to maintain it, hard and expensive to maintain them in perfect working order and all kind of this stuff. So they trade some viruses and portal from umbrella, and the portal machines from Monarch with Alpha Draconians, and they gave them this.
And the Alpha Draconians gave them some viruses.
No. Once again, Umbrella gave Alpha Draconians some viruses. Monarch gave Alpha Draconians some sort of portal opening devices, and Alpha Draconians gave as a reward back to Umbrella and Monarch these, how can I say that, perpetuum mobiles, these energy devices.
Would they possibly could they explode like a nuclear bomb, or even worse, hydrogen?
To be perfectly honest, I don't know, but the exact consequences, but what I know for sure, that they are stable, very stable, once they are quiet, in quiet and in peace, in one single stable place. But once they are moving, very bad stuff, risky business.
Is it used for as a power source?
What?
Is this device used as a power source? Because I see this weird like expansion energy coming from it, and so something that they were thinking of using for deep space, maybe.
Yep.
But it could be volatile, absolutely, right? Because it alters the quantum.
Yeah, they are using quantum technology inside.
Yeah. It looks like it could alter ours just because it alters our quantum. Yeah.
All right.
So that's why these Draco. That's why people are getting sick then, because the Dracos have all these viruses. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, you are talking.
Yeah.
About
so
that.
I didn't even go anywhere and I got sick. Yeah, I'm
at last but not least, we need to talk about very recent and emergency situation. We are getting tons of alerts from all around the world. They are like, I don't know, 11, maybe 12,000 all day from very first day of this year. From January 1st, 2018, that people, that very strange situations happened to people on traffic lights. They stopped on traffic lights, and they were triggered. It's like trigger is very, how can I say that, like it's symbolic because it's like anagram. Trigger like 3G, so it means 3 times green, and R means like 1 red. And it's similar. I mean, technically all the same on these cases, that people last time what people remember is blinking 3 times red, 3 times green, sorry, my bad, 3 times green and on traffic lights, and then 1 time red. And they passed out, and they simply opened their eyes, but some time afterwards they realized that they are in absolutely different place, in different occasion, different situation. They passed out for a few hours, but sometimes even for a few days, and they are tens, maybe hundreds of kilometers away from last time and location. And this started happening from, as I told, from January 1st this year, and we are getting crazy amount of these reports. So people be prepared for something big, because I think the AI simply, how can I say that, AI woke up, and they are trying to trigger people via AI and shutting the people with opened channels for 5D down. This is what I am thinking that they are trying to do.
So those of us who are infected with femto technology would be most likely.
Definitely, yes, you are right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And Jessica,
you
what do you
right.
think? Have you heard any reports like this?
Yes.
Yeah.
And do you know what's crazy? What's craziest part of the story? That it didn't happen only on traffic lights, but very weird car. I mean, it's car, but car which was never built. I mean, like front and rear mask. Front mask from, I don't know, from, for example, from some sort of Chevrolet sedan. Rear mask from, I don't know, Beamer. I mean BMW. Silhouette from, I don't know, some Japan car. This type of mix. And believe it or not, but this type of cars, of course, black cars with very weird looking license plates, all black windows, they get in front of you, and they blink with 3 times green. It's total crazy, because no normal car has green light on lights. I mean on tail lights. 3 times green, then red, and people passed out. It's crazy.
But I have a friend that just recently told me he had a dream of, seeing these vehicles that didn't exist anywhere. He didn't know, had never seen these vehicles before. And it sounded similar to what you're saying. It was like a combination.
I mean,
Sort of like,
combination of cars, they are actually made, but this type of combination, no single car maker made, never.
Yeah, they weren't from here. He knew, but where are they coming from?
From alter reality.
They're from the alternate reality. Okay.
From alter reality, I mean the hierarchy enslaving you, won, and they ruled the world, and they made this NWO, New World Order.
are they making vehicles in that other reality out of vehicles that kind of came apart, or is this
Yeah,
actually a
it's
whole model?
these type of cars are made there, especially for this purpose. I mean, like once somebody wants to set free from Matrix, if you wanna call it that way.
Yeah.
Oh no, it will not. They will not do it violently. No, it's not a problem. They just send this type of cars. Not a single problem.
Just to create like a confusion, so
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know
And
where
this
they're from.
and these people will pass out, and after a few hours, we are okay. We are
Are
back
they
again.
abducting them? Are they taking them somewhere? What
No,
do they
no,
do?
no, 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 no. Once
Just-
again, it's very similar like in Men in Black. Oh, people just look at the car.
It's like a mind wipe or a memory.
Yeah. Exactly. Look at the car, and this is it. They've got this 3 times green, 1 time red, and think, and then bye. This is it. Yeah.
So what is our defense against this?
This is it. That how can I? This is the crazy word in English. I get it. Finally. We in ACIO, we built and successfully tested countermeasure against it, and this countermeasure worked actually. So people need to eat fruits. I mean, like fruits you can get from your garden, especially apples.
Yeah, but that's not going to work for people who live in cold climates, at least in the northern hemisphere.
Apples and pears. Yes, it will work for people who live in cold climate, because deers and caribous will work. The meat from deers and caribous will work for them too.
I just don't understand how would this type of food help someone protect someone.
Because in this type of food, in fruits and vegetables and specific type of meat, they will turn their own weapon against them, against its creators. Do you know what I mean? It will serve as countermeasure.
So could you just go to your local organic farmers market and just purchase some food there? Would that be good enough? Okay.
Exactly. But it should be 100% biological, like biofood. Yeah.
Local too.
Yeah, and local. Yes, you are
Okay.
right. Because how can I say that local? Because once it will be local, it will fit with your body, with your metabolism, and all kind of this stuff, as much perfect as it will possibly can. This is it what I'm talking about.
All right, so I think this is a good point to stop, unless anybody want to throw something out there.
No,
Anyone?
I think we are okay. I think we are
You
okay.
Jessica?
said that those are the last points that you wanted to say, Peter? That was it?
Yeah, this is
Okay.
it. Yeah, this
So
is
yeah,
it.
no, I think we covered a lot, and until for next time maybe.
All right, so audience members, please continue drinking the mint tea. That will help you connect with the wisdomers, who will help improve your lives and release you some negativity. Also, be sure to subscribe to this channel and visit supersoldiertalk.com to learn more about the work that, not only Super Soldier Talk, but some other material related. So I do a lot of posts, there was, like I said earlier, about the time travelers. And also, be sure to visit Neological Tech to support the work that I do. And visit Peter's website, peter-insider.com, to check out, I guess, I haven't visited that website in a while to see what's there, but I guess, Peter, you're doing a lot of interviews in your native language.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. And you can use Google Translate to read that. Obviously, it probably won't help you out with videos. I guess there is an option for captions on those videos if they're in foreign language. And also be sure to visit Jessica's website, Readings by Ariel, ARAEL.
Yes, that's correct.
All right, and Jessica, do you want to add anything else to that?
And also, I have my show live. If you want to hear more about Andronicus, the Andronicus transmissions are on YouTube, and you can also listen live every week on Wolf Spirit Radio. And sometimes on occasion, Peter's on my show, or you're on my show.
Yes, you're right. You're right.
4 to 6 p.m. on Monday evenings. That's Eastern Standard Time.
Great. Thank you, Jessica, and thank you, Peter, and thank you, audience members, for listening in. I suppose if you have any questions, you feel free to ask. I mean, we're going to have to be very selective from now on future questions. But if they're good questions, they'll probably be on the show. So until next time, thank you for listening in, and goodbye. Please consider supporting Super Soldier Talk by purchasing your own Neo Meditation device. Your Neo Meditation device will help you reduce stress, integrate trauma, enhance intuition, enhance clairvoyance, and enhance creativity. Get yours now at www.neologicaltech.com.